Hi, it's brassfacts here. The Primary Arms 1-6 Nova SLx. Yeah, okay, I'm a bit late on this one. These things are kind of hard to come by, which is ironic because this one was sent to me by Primary Arms directly. Ironically, after I had already bought one, which, whatever, that's a weird story. Point is, this is the first video in quite some time where the product is actually provided to me by the manufacturer. So yeah, full disclosures on the table, as per always. And thank you, Primary Arms. Before diving into it, this video is sponsored by Eclipse Armory. One video per week is kind of tough to do, especially when 100% of it is covered in unique shooting B-roll. I spent over $12,000 last year on ammo. That's not really sustainable at all. Eclipse Armory helps ensure that this channel could stick around for the long haul by providing me, well, with ammo. So the next time you need ammo, go check them out, because you'd be buying from them, you're letting them know that, hey, that endeavor of them sponsoring me is worthwhile, and I can thus keep giving you videos or something. Thank you, Eclipse Armory. Alright, the Primary Arms Nova, the scope named after my dog. No, I will accept no other explanation. Yes, I do in fact take royalties in dog treats. Well, for the sake of those actually looking to buy this thing, first of all, you can't, it's out of stock, but when it is in stock, it's not actually the Primary Arms Nova, as so many people reference it, it's the Primary Arms 1-6X SLx. SLx denoting their budget tier, with the Nova ACSS reticle. The scope is kind of taking the industry by storm because it's finally looking to dethrone a lot of the long-time standbys for the budget crowd. Specifically the Vortex PST Gen 2, which is older than my dog at this point. Each individual aspect of the, Nova is kind of boring and really just sort of represents another Primary Arms budget scope. But for once, combining all the features together make for a really surprising package that kind of came out of left field. Not just in the budget category, but potentially actually batting one tier above as well. The namesake of this scope, my dog Nova, also speaks to the red dot bright illumination. You heard right, not daylight bright, not daylight visible, but actually red dot bright. The likes we've seen before with the PX4i, Vortex PST, Delta Striker, and of course, the Razor, all of which use the same technology, freestanding fiber optic wire. Before you say, this reticle has to look like this. The specific technology does not allow for freestanding elements when you use it. They will be releasing a non-Nova SLx style with an ACSS reticle. Yes, I know they technically call it the Nova ACSS as well, but at this point I'm sure they call their cat ACSS. What I mean is a reticle style that PA is known for. Wind holds, 7 ways the range, and of course, a chevron. The scope has more of its sleeve. Primary Arms is really starting to nail 1x performance. The PLXC was really the first of their scopes that I found offered a 1x that I could get behind. Metaphorically, of course, I can get behind all scopes, that's how scopes work. This takes it a step up from their existing offerings. Their older SLXs, they're okay, but somewhat on par when compared to other budget scopes. But I can confidently say the newest generation of XLX looks pretty damn good at 1x. Is this a Razor HD 1x? No, but it doesn't need to be. It crosses the threshold into the realm where your reptilian brain is tricked into thinking, hey, we're looking at a mostly flat plane of glass, collimating both of your eyes together into a seamless single image that just looks like a floating dot on your target past about 10 yards. That's not something most LPVOs, and especially most budget LPVOs, pull off all that well. So, thus far, I've actually just described to you the Vortex PST 1-6X Gen 2. The part that sets the Nova apart is that it doesn't weigh as much as, well, Nova. The base weight of a Vortex PST Gen 2 is 22 ounces, which means most of the time you're going to be at least 28 to 30 ounces with a mount. The Nova weighs 17.9, you add in a Aero Precision lightweight mount, you're at 21.5. That is pretty light. Something we typically rarely see and only see with Leopold discontinued unobtainium LPVOs, and I guess the NX8. And the Delta Striker. And the PLXC. Okay, I guess it's not all that uncommon, but it's nothing to scoff at. It's a good weight, especially for, once again, a budget scope. You combine all of these features together and a price tag of 340 dull hairs, that is impressive. Previously, I had listed the SIG MSR as probably the best you can do in this budget category. I now rescind that. This is better. The combination of features, weight, top-notch 1x performance really tied this thing together to be just a powerhouse of a budget optic. Let's pump the brakes. I think some reviews are a little too dicky-sucky because frankly, this is still very much a budget scope, and it acts like a budget scope. The turrets kind of suck, the finish is budget, and they decided to go ahead and copy the worst aspect of the Razor HD. The 1X is about 80, maybe 90% as good if you really want to push it as the Vortex PSD Gen 2, but it does very obviously have some lensing on the side. It also doesn't have vanishing bezels like a lot of the aforementioned scopes do. The glass is whatever, it's obviously a budget scope, but in some scenarios I'd argue it's noticeably lacking, specifically when you dial the 6X. The glass is probably roughly in the same camp as the SIG MSR, but you begin to see what I can only describe maybe as a haze. Combine the fact that this thing has a 1X focus that is drastically different than the 6X focus, as in you're going to focus the scope to 1X, you're going to crank it to 6X, and you're going to find it's going to be somewhat blurry. Now this is true with all LPVOs, it's just more pronounced here. Depending on a number of factors, sun location, shadow, or my eyeballs just being obliterated by the sun, and the size and contrast of the target, you're going to find some days you're going to be able to get away with not focusing it and you can just snap that shot, and some days you're going to need to adjust that diopter. Even then, you can tell it's not just glass. There's probably some secret sauce that Vortex pours on all of their scopes that makes them handle glare and stuff significantly better, and probably why PSCs just feel consistently good to get behind. And explains why some days the Nova felt really good, and some days it felt, well, not good. I don't know, I'm not a wizard with words, I'll leave that up to Hop. Okay, anyway, is the SLX Nova a good scope? It's okay, but at $340, it's really good. Do I recommend this over my old standby, the Vortex PSD Gen 2, that I've mentioned at least 12 times this video? Go ahead and take a shot every time I've said it. It depends. The Vortex PSD Gen 2 is a better scope, except for the part where it weighs 5 ounces more and costs used about $100 more and new about $200 more. So, the question is 10 to 20% increased optical clarity on the high end worth 5 ounces and about $100 to $200? Well, that'll be up to you to decide. Is this better than, say, a SIG MSR 1 to 6X? In that case, it's roughly the same price and weight, a hair more because it doesn't come with a mount. In that case, it depends. Is 1X performance more important to you than a nice complex reticle? Once again, that will be up to you to decide. Personally for me though, I think it's very much more clear cut here. You should get the Nova. Is this worth it over, say, a Steiner PX4i? Yes! Steiner, why did you raise the price on that thing from $450 to $700, you absolute buffoon? I'm not bitter, you're bitter. Okay, that's been Brassfacts once again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me with comments and watching my videos time and time again, even though you may not be interested in the subject at hand. I'll simp myself out here. If you'd want to support this channel long term, consider looking at my sponsors, be it Nightline, be it Eclipse Armory. Or you can support me directly with something called Subscribestar, where you just, direct wire money to them, and then they wire it to me, and sometimes you can watch me and Hop do stupid live streams that last way too damn long. Regardless, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Nova.